Here are a few of the craziest catches fishermen have gotten from the sea. Number 9. Roman Fedortsov's catches. Fedortsov is a Russian deep-sea fisherman who posts his more peculiar catches on Instagram. For example, there's the Legodes reticulatus, and it looks as weird as it sounds. While it may look like a half-dwarf, half-fish that looks like it belongs in a cartoon, it's definitely a real fish. If you quickly browse through Fedorov's Instagram feed, you'll find some of the most interesting-looking deep-sea animals. Another example is the bearded sea devil, which looks like something that should be in the movie Aliens, or the ghost shark, which has the eyes that glow when it's exposed to light. All the strange creatures he catches seem like they should not exist, except they do exist, just in a completely foreign world to us. What's the best catch this Russian fisherman has posted? Let us know what you think in the comments section. Number 8. Salpa majora. While fishing in the South Pacific near New Zealand, Stuart Fisher and his 2 sons caught a very interesting-looking fish. As the fish was almost completely transparent, at first glance, it may have probably looked a lot like a glass bottle. But once Fisher saw the fish swimming around, he had to investigate. As it turns out, this fish is called a Salpa majora, and despite looking a lot like a jellyfish, they actually have a lot more in common with marine vertebrae. These salps propel themselves through the water by pumping water through their bodies and out of openings at each end of their body. Despite being mainly transparent, these amazing-looking creatures have gills and a heart. One thing they do have in common with jellyfish is how they use their transparency for protection. As a little fish swimming around the Antarctic Ocean, they really have no way to protect themselves from bigger predators. But being see-through is pretty much like being camouflaged in the ocean, and that makes them less noticeable to predators. Number 7. Two-bodied fish. A two-bodied fish? Wouldn't that just, be 2 fish? Except these guys appear to be fused together at the head. The picture you're looking at is truly a mystery. While it's made the rounds across the internet for years now, conjoined twins in the wild is a thing that happens sometimes. Imagine how surprising it must be to catch a fish who are conjoined at the face. As another example, back in 2008, some of the Thai fishermen caught 2 Nile tilapias that were conjoined at the stomach. Call it a two-bodied fish or maybe a two-headed fish. Either way, it's just rare. Not too sure how we'd feel if we saw these fish in person, to be honest. Number 6. An enigmatic jellyfish. Back in 2012, a video surfaced of what appeared to be a mysterious deep-sea blob floating around in the depths of the ocean. Was it a fishing net, a whale placenta, an underwater alien invasion? It also wasn't clear who took the video. It was uploaded to the internet back in 2012 by a person who apparently didn't want credit for the video. Some experts came along and were like, yeah, that's a jellyfish. With that mystery solved, the quest to obtain more information about this really crazy-looking jellyfish began. Known as Deepstaria enigmatica, this thing has appendages and organs, both of which are pretty unique features for a jellyfish. While marine biologists have seen this before, first back in 1967, it's still interesting to see video footage of one of these guys fully intact. Dr. Stephen Haddock, a noted jellyfish expert, explained that bag-like jellyfish such as this are pretty common, but since they're so large, they're rarely seen intact. Definitely a rare catch indeed, even if it was just caught on camera. We'll count it anyway. Number 5. Frilled shark. In 2017, the frilled shark was caught alive not 1, not 2, but 3 times in different parts of the world. These catches were important and interesting for a few reasons. It's one of nature's most primitive species, as there's evidence of this shark dating back some 165 million years ago. Now, by no means does this make it anywhere close to the oldest living species, but it's still pretty old, and it's often referred to as a living fossil. Some scientists believe that this shark has more in common with their modern peers than it does with sharks way back in the day. It does at least belong to an ancient lineage of sharks. The first time a human was known to have seen a frilled shark was back in 1879. A German guy named Ludwig Dalderine made expeditions to Japan between 1879 and 1881, and much like most of us, he and his peers were amazed by what they found. This is a shark that has a body like a snake and a really wide jaw. In fact, they've been known to swallow other creatures whole. Add their super sharp teeth into the mix, and you have one ridiculous looking animal. Number 4, Chimera lobster. Lobsters are kind of interesting creatures. For one thing, as all the shellfish connoisseurs out there can agree with, they're quite tasty. Granted, they're known to let out a scream when they're getting boiled. Okay, just kidding. Contrary to popular belief, they don't scream because lobsters have no vocal cords or organs of any kind for audio communication. The sound you hear sometimes is just expanding air bubbles trapped in their shells escaping. Anyways, enough about the tastiness and gases escaping from cooked lobsters. Let's talk about the time someone caught a mutated lobster. In 2007, a fisherman in Newport, Rhode Island, reeled in a two-toned lobster that appeared to be half-cooked. This is a very rare occurrence in nature. This essentially is the Harvey Dent two faces of lobsters. Usually, when you see lobsters in cartoons, they're bright red. However, in nature, they typically have a brownish-green color, of course. They're only red after they've been cooked. However, in very rare instances, they'll appear half brownish-green and half red. This is the result of a crazy genetic mutation. It's so rare, the odds of catching such a lobster are roughly 1 in 50 million. Maybe this fisherman should have bought a lottery ticket that day. Number 3, giant stingray. Your average run-of-the-mill stingray is scary enough. Add the astonishing size of a somewhat newly discovered species from Thailand, and well, you have something that sounds like an old sailor's folklore. The freshwater stingray can reportedly reach lengths of 16 feet while weighing north of 1,300 pounds. For those of you keeping score at home, that would make it one of the largest freshwater fish on the planet. And let's not forget a key aspect of their existence, which is the word sting in stingray. Yeah, this thing wields a barb that's been rumored to cut right into boats. So just imagine what it could do to whatever it wants, including a human trying to catch it. These things are rare and also difficult to catch because of their incredible size and natural aversion to being yanked out of the water. Yeah, we know it's big, but it's a skilled hunter too. They hunt using a strategy that involves using something called electroreception to track down their prey. Once they find it, they hover over their prospective meal and smother it before chowing down. All the same, a group of more than a dozen fishermen managed to reel in one of these guys back in 2010 on the Mekong River. It took an extraordinary effort with the guys working in shifts over several hours, but they eventually got it. It's pretty amazing that they were able to reel it in, if you're asking us. Number 2, massive sunfish. In September of 2017, a group of Sakhalin fishermen bagged a massive sunfish that weighed more than 2,000 pounds. This huge specimen was accidentally caught in their net near the Russian island of Itura. After a 3-day period, the fishermen were able to finally bring the fish ashore, but by that point, it was already a goner. While the size of catching a fish this size is pretty rare, we do know quite a bit about this fish. Weighing anywhere from 545 to 2,500 pounds, the ocean sunfish is the heaviest bony fish on the planet. Their preferred meal is any kind of sea jelly, and they tend to eat a lot of them at once. Despite their impressive size, they often get picked off by hungry sea lions, killer whales, and sharks. And, as is the case here, sometimes fishermen accidentally catch them in their fishing nets. And sometimes they do it on purpose, as they're a delicacy in Japan and Taiwan. Number 1, coelacanth. For a while there, the general assumption was that the coelacanth were extinct. All we had left of these creatures were fossil remains. The remains of a fish that hadn't swam Earth's oceans for more than 65 million years. And, yeah, fossils are cool and all, but it's still just not the same as having the real thing. Then, 1938 happened. Although 1938 was well before some of us were born, it's something like less than a second ago if you put the Earth's age in terms of a 24-hour day. And kudos to you if you're actually still alive from 1938 and watching this video because you're doing something right. Marjorie Courtney Latimer essentially rediscovered the coelacanth in the western Indian Ocean. Since then, its unique fish has also been found in Indonesia. Its discovery 66 million years after it was believed to have gone extinct makes the coelacanth the best-known example of a Lazarus taxon, which is an evolutionary line that seems to have disappeared from the fossil record only to reappear much later. What makes this fish interesting is that it has several features no other fish has. For instance, They have a rostral organ in their nose as part of their electrosensory system. They also have this special joint or a hinge in their skull that allows their head to swing upwards, effectively enlarging the size of their mouth. Here's what's next.